HomeSmart designed a system. It's called Real Smart Agent. Basically, our office away from the office. So when everybody wants to talk about cloud brokerages, we were kind of the first quote unquote cloud brokerage without being a cloud brokerage. So you can operate your systems anywhere in the world from our proprietary software.
Got it.
So
yeah, this is why I can't do licensing, bro.
yeah.
I can't be. I have a real problem with authority. Like before this, I owned a franchise, a Mako body shop franchise.
Yeah. Yep.
And I had to sell that shit because they would like try to tell me what to do. And I was like, you're not telling me. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Well, that's what I like about HomeSmart. They don't tell me what to do. I'm a franchise, so they don't tell me what to do.
Okay.
They let me kind of roll with it, and they actually like some of the stuff that I do.
That's cool. See,
You know,
every franchise is different, I guess.
And it's because, that was primarily before I opened up HomeSmart. I don't know if you want to get into it, but before I opened HomeSmart was primarily a West Coast company, right?
Mm-hmm.
HomeSmart is the largest 100% based brokerage in the country. They were the first. Nobody like it. They offer everything a traditional brokerage does, just at 100% model through their, pillars of structure.
Can I ask you like the elephant in the room question, which is what I literally wonder every time like I look at.
I love this.
You make the comments, right?
Yeah.
Comments all the time, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how the fuck do they make any money?
All right, perfect. All right, so I have somewhere around, I don't know, 180 agents.
Okay.
Every agent pays $99 a month.
I'm going to do math here.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to do some math.
All right, so you have 180 agents. They each pay $100 a month.
All right, so what is that, $18,000 a month?
Times 12 months is $216,000. That keeps the lights on.
It keeps well, no, not really, because my offices are really small and run really, really.
How many offices do you have?
6.
You have 6 offices for that $216,000?
Well, I'm not done yet. They have to pay a transaction fee.
Okay.
Transaction fee is $800.
Okay. What is the average number of transactions each agent does per year?
Well, I don't go by agents. I go by total volume per month.
Okay. Transaction volume.
Right. So my goal every month is to get at least 50 deals closed a month at $800 a clip. Okay, that's my goal. Sometimes it's more.
That's at $480,000.
Sometimes it's a little bit less, but my goal is 50 deals a month. That's my goal. Sometimes it's higher.
Okay.
Sometimes, depending on the month and what's going on now, it might be a little bit lower, but that's kind of my goal.
Got it. Doesn't matter if they double side a deal. It's $800.
No, double side, two deals.
Double siding is 2 deals. Okay,
2
so
deals.
it's $800 per side.
Per side. $800 per side. Okay.
Got it. So you want 50 sides a month.
That's my goal.
Got it.
50 sides a month. Okay. And then, now don't forget, I'm also a licensed agent. So I'll do 15 million on my own just through referrals.
Okay.
Right. So that's 10, 12 deals a year on my own. Okay. Then I run a little team that, like, if I get like buyer leads, because I don't work with buyers, I'll give them the lead and I'll take a little portion of that. Right. So if you think about it, you do the math, I'm probably up to, without talking about my personal, I'm $700,000-$800,000 a year just for my own.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like,
you know what I'm
based on
saying?
that,
So,
480 is it's like 6 and change minus whatever your overhead is.
And my overhead is very, very little. I don't have staff.
There's no staff.
There's 0 staff. I run everything because, again, the HomeSmart system is built that way.
Do you need 6 offices?
No. So what I've done is, Williston Park is a full service office on Willis Avenue, storefront.
Define what is full service.
Desks, printer, conference room, bathroom.
Got it.
Okay. Melville, full service.
Got it.
Okay. Lake Grove, full service.
Got it.
Douglaston, very small, kind of like a satellite office, right? Hauppauge, satellite office.
What is a
satellite office?
What is a satellite office?
Agent could go in there, do something really quick, hop in, hop out.
Got it.
Like a co-working type of thing.
Got it.
Because look, I'm not going to lie to you. Agents don't come to the office anymore.
No.
They do come to the Williston Park office, believe it or not.
Why?
It's, every office I've noticed has its own little culture.
Okay.
So we do get 5, 6, 7 agents that come into that office every day.
Okay.
Same thing with Melville. Melville is like the night crew. I get night agents in Melville. Go figure. Right? Lake Grove, for some reason, can run hot and cold.
So these guys have it's like an access code.
Yeah,
they go into
either an access code on the door or a beep beep and get in.
You have an admin that handles like all your onboarding and all that stuff?
No, everything's automated. Have everything automated. So we have a system HomeSmart designed a system. It's called Real Smart Agent.
Okay.
It's basically our office away from the office. So when everybody wants to talk about cloud brokerages, we were kind of the first quote unquote cloud brokerage without being a cloud brokerage. So you can operate your systems anywhere in the world from our proprietary software.
Got it.
So when I add an agent to our Real Smart Agent platform, everything is in there. All of their onboarding is in there. You know, do this, click here, click that, watch this, watch that. Boom, onboarded.
Got it.
So it's fully automated. The only thing I have is I do have somebody part-time that just kind of runs agent services. Like, in other words, if an agent does have a problem with the platform, he can quickly call her and say, look, for some reason I can't upload my file. I forgot how to make a flyer. How do I convert this thing into a video, that kind of stuff, right? And she'll help them with that.
Okay. So you have an admin that's like on call 40 hours a week just to handle basic questions.
Yeah, but it's very part-time, you know, and because honestly, the type of agents that we typically get aren't the type of agents that need a lot of hand-holding.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I always speak about agents. You know, one of the videos I did recently is I get calls from agents every single day. Okay. I'll get a call from an agent who's been in business 25 years. All right. And she'll tell me, listen, I want the 100% commission. You know, my friend Bill works here. He's telling me all these wonderful things. You know, how do I become an agent? So, you know, I'll kind of interview them a little bit, right? Because I don't just want to take anybody. When they tell me they've been in the business for 20, 25 years and they've never uploaded an MLS listing, right away, not for us.
Really?
How the fuck, excuse my French, are you in the business that long and you don't know how to upload an MLS listing? So they tell me, well, we have a girl in the office that does that. Yeah, you pay her a 6% admin fee on top of the 60/40. She's collecting the office is collecting like another $800 as an admin fee, which we can get into too, by the way, which is another fucking joke.
Yeah. It's all bullshit, man.
It's all bullshit, right? Because that's what keeps their lights on, right? Because
it's all bullshit.
Because, again, not to get off topic, but, you know, these agents, they need to learn to do things on their own, right? I always say, remember before I said, you're the CEO of you. And that's one thing that I always teach. You're not an employee, you're a CEO. Learn to be a fucking CEO.
So I actually have a different, keep going. I have a different philosophy. We're gonna go back and forth, which is cool to be able to beat it around.
Yeah.
But the HomeSmart model, very, very interesting. HomeSmart.
I'm one of the top 10 leading brokerages in the country.
What, HomeSmart?
Yeah, we were part of, you know, the NAR lawsuit. We were one of the companies that are not part of that lawsuit. We have to pay our own fine. We're not part of the settlement because we did over $2 billion in sales.
Oh, so yeah.
So they have to settle their own.
You guys got that thing?
No, because we're 100%. That's the negotiation.
That thing was crazy.
That's all bullshit anyway.
That was total.
We could talk. We could beat that one to death. This I think is gonna be a good thing in the future, with a lot of hair on it for the next year or so.
First of all, nothing got accomplished from that. Like nothing changes.
Nothing
only thing that changes is whatever law firm was on that is getting a big payday.
And did you see now the sellers want to reopen the case because they feel that their settlement wasn't enough money?
Because
they thought they were getting millions of dollars. They got $20 each.
It's freaking It's class action suits at the end of the day only get the attorney's money.
All bullshit.
You know what's going to happen? They're saying, listen, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. We'll just talk about it. They're saying, hey, real estate prices are so high because of real estate agent commissions. It's a bunch of fucking horse shit.
I have another one for you.
If a house is going to sell for $600,000, it's going to sell for $600,000 offering out 2 and 2. If there's 0 offered out, the agent's going to say, hey, listen, we're going to give you $600,000 net 588 to the goddamn seller.
Right.
It's the same fucking thing.
It's all bullshit.
Bullshit.
Now, I don't know if you knew this or not. I don't know how far back you found it. I mean, I've been following this for the last few years, right? This is not something that started today. This is something that started in January 1st of 2020, okay? And I'm not going to talk about politics. We're not going to get into politics, right? This is not what this is about. They come into the office and they issue the executive orders. One of Joe Biden's executive orders was to tell his DOJ to go after realtor commissions. They're too high. And if you remember not that long ago, if you look at I think it's my Instagram page or my Facebook page, I actually shared something with Joe Biden specifically thanking the DOJ for helping bring the affordability factor back to the fucking buyers.
So I watched a video. Kevin Leatherman sent me a video. You know Kevin Leatherman, right? Love Kevin Leatherman. Kevin Leatherman sends me this video, this like conspiracy video. And I'm like, fucking, here's another video. So I watched this video of this guy unraveling all of this shit. And I got to tell you, I mean, It made a lot of sense. I mean, basically what he said was that BlackRock, Vanguard, and all the
buying
large
everything.
hedge funds own pieces of all the online platforms. And for years, they've been trying to get a piece of the housing market, and they haven't been able to do it because housing is weird. It requires a personal touch. It's also not something that like works with an algorithm. That's why the Zillow iBuyer program shit
Never
the bed.
worked. I never understood that anyway. That would have never worked here anyway.
It doesn't. You have to know the nuances of what's going on locally. Right. A school district, a road, a train track.
Right.
It's just not possible. So basically, that was their way. That was their next step of trying to get rid of real estate agents.
Yeah. And you know, we've become, I hate to say it, you know, when people see a closing check at the table and they see a closing check going to a broker for $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, they think it's a lot of money. And look, it is. For a HomeSmart agent, it is because they're getting all of it, right? But for the generic agent, that thing is getting split like 72 different ways.
Plus, listen, they've been running around, burning gas, cars.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying that realtors can't make a lot of money, but like the good realtors work their fucking ass off.
They do.
There's a difference between like the realtor that just didn't show up to an open house, didn't show up to a home inspection, doesn't show up to the closing, gets a $10,000 check.
Right.
But that's not the overwhelming majority.
No. I actually find that most of the agents on Long Island are generally pretty good agents.
Yeah.
Generally. You know, we can talk about the boroughs on another day, but generally.
I posted my Brooklyn video.
I saw
today.
that. You
People are like busting my, someone's in there like, yeah, you never like stay out of our. But it's a shit show over there.
It's a shit show in Queens too.
It is on Long Island, you can do business. It's tough on Long Island too, but at least you can do business sort of like a gentleman. In the boroughs, you can't.
No, and you could talk to people on Long Island. You could figure things out together.
It's a shit show.
It's a shit show. You know, big difference. You know.
Wait, so I have to ask you this, right? Because obviously we never met before. We don't really know each other. Where did you come from? Because when I look at you, I'm like, here's a dude in Cali on a Harley, you know, cruising up the coast.
Right. No, I'm from New York on a Harley cruising up the coast. But well, where did I come from? You mean how I got into the business, how I started?
Yeah, like just background, everything.
Yeah, so you know, I
because you look like a guy who's on American Chopper.
Yeah,
it was customizing cars and motorcycles.
That's over maybe the last 10 years when I became an agent. I felt like I can actually be myself because I was in the corporate world for most of my life doing IT stuff, right? So you know, I had the whole tie, jacket, suit thing, bullshit, right, in those companies. And in 2013, I had lost my job, and I quickly got another job in kind of like for one of the manufacturers that we had at the company, and I was doing like consultative selling, where I guess where the sales team would bring clients to me and say, this is what he wants, but really figure out what he wants, right? And I was really good at figuring out what people wanted. So I didn't even really know that I'd be good in this business. So I lost my job 5 months later. Again, they brought in a new CEO, and obviously last one hired, first one fired type, and I was crushed. I was like, that was the job for me, etc. A buddy of mine said to me, why don't you become a real estate agent?
Which
and
is
I said,
random.
come on, man. I got a family. I got a mortgage. I got kids. I said, I can't fool around with this. I need a job. And he's like, look, when I lost my job last year, I made 50 grand in a year or 6 months, whatever it was. He said, look, you're not doing anything now. Give it a shot. I went home that day and I'm like, this guy, I think he's right. So I registered for American Real Estate Institute out in Hauppauge. I registered for their like 9 day in a row intensive. This is like in 2014. Okay. And it was like 70 people in the class. And I was listening to the questions that some of these agents were asking. And I'm like, God damn it. If that's what my competition is, I think I'll do all right in this business. So I passed my test. I applied to all the brokerages because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Only one brokerage responded to me. It was one of the bigger traditional companies. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And I picked an office in Manhasset. You say, well, I'm in Manhasset. Well, at the time, everything was $1 million. I figured 6% of $1 million. I get the buy side. It's 3%. I'll make 30 grand on every deal. Handful of those, I'm solid. Just walk into the office, wait for the phone to ring, wait for people to walk in.
Yeah, sure.
Get there my first day. Broker stay. A manager says to me, yeah, sit over there. The phone, there's nothing. I'm like, well, what do I do? Well, I don't know. What do you do? So I'm like, shit. All right. So I get it, right? So after a couple of days of doing nothing, on the coffee table, they used to have like the neighborhood penny savers and whatnot, right? And I would go through them and look up FSBOs. And I would call them. And I used to have one of those at-a-glance books, because it took me a while to
Where did you get the numbers back then?
What do you mean the numbers?
Like you'd call them.
They were like in the penny saver.
Oh, they were advertising.
I'm selling a house on 123 Main Street.
Got it.
So I would call them up and I'd say, well, how long, before you expect to list with an agent? Screw you. I'm not listing with an agent. Call me in a month. I would call them in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And I made a habit of this.
Yeah.
After 2 or 3 months, I started listing a lot of FSBOs. And what was happening is my personality would start to come out in the phone calls, and it becomes like a joke every time I call.
Yeah.
And before you know it, we're shooting the shit. The guy's telling me about his kids. It's a shitty weekend. And he's like, why don't you come over to the house? And I would list the house.
Yeah.
And then Zillow at that time was in its infancy. And I got a call from Zillow, and they're like, $300 a month. We're going to rotate you in and out of neighborhoods. I didn't know shit, right? And I'm like, all right, well, sure, $300 leads. Hang up the phone. My phone is buzzing with leads.
Yeah,
that
was a bargain,
man. Let me tell you. But they would rotate you in all these neighborhoods. I was selling in Jamaica. I was all the way out east. I was selling,
How many calls do you get in a week at that point?
Oh, the phone just didn't stop. I was doing at one point. I think my best month was September of 2014. I did 5 deals in the month from Zillow.
How do you feel about Zillow today?
It's changed. It's unfortunate because I thought it was a great thing in the beginning, and now they totally suck.
Do you think? But Zillow as a whole, do you think Zillow sucks?
I think the agents don't do the proper follow-up. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because
I think
everybody knows with Zillow that they're the warmest lead you're going to get. Those are ready-to-buy leads, which is different than the social media
Or sell
ones.
now. They have the seller
Or
platform.
sell. So if you're a good agent and you do the right follow-up.
Yeah. That's what it is.
The thing is, you got to spend $5,000 a month on Zillow, or don't even bother. That's the thing. So who's got this money are, the bigger teams, the bigger agents.
Or you have to be on the program where they're taking 40% off.
Or you got to do the flex, but now they're taking 40% off the top. You're on a 60-40 split at your brokerage. You're paying a 6% admin fee. What the hell are you winding up with? $800 when it's all said and done?
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of deals with the referral companies like Redfin, Clever, Agent Pronto. We do a lot of referral deals, OpCity. But our agents, when they're paying back that referral, it's based off of 100%. So they're still getting a nice net, So we still deal with a lot of those referral companies. But, back to the Zillow, unless you're a really big team, it's really tough to compete in Zillow. I mean, there was a point I was spending $5,000 a month on Zillow.
Personally?
Yeah. We were cranking, man.
As a team or just you?
Well, I was me, and then I had a bunch of people that were working for me. And this was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We were freaking cranking. We were cranking them out. And it was beautiful. I had Levittown. I owned Levittown. And you say, well, why'd you pick Levittown? Because Levittown has a 13% at that time turnover rate.
Oh, Levittown. First of all, Levittown's amazing.
Right. Well, at the time, what I was doing, I was studying turnovers. And at the time, and I forget the exact, maybe it was 11, 12%. But at the time, Levittown had like 11, 12, 13% turnover, which was crazy.
Yep.
And it was churn and burn. And we were selling houses, and then we'd sell a house a year later. They'd call us to list it. And it was just crazy. I had 5 people working for me. We're just closing. And then they let more people into the zip code. They started changing things to tour. Things started to change. And, now you need, instead of spending 5, now you need to spend 10 for the, and it just, I just kind of dissolved it and just decided to focus on running a business. And
But you know what? You had a good run.
I had a great run.
How many years of Zillow altogether, from the moment you were doing 300 to the moment you were like, fuck it? How many years were you running with Zillow?
8 years.
That's a
good solid, starting with $300 a month and progressively working my way up, because what I was doing.
8 years of that changed your life.
Because what I was doing are things that agents don't do now, which is take some of that money that you make and reinvest it back in yourself. Shit, you got to pay fucking taxes on it anyway. You might as well reinvest it back in yourself. So I would double down. If I did a deal on Zillow, now I'm spending $600 a month. Then I'm spending $900 a month. Then I'm getting a little realtor.com. And then what really blew people away, I started getting my own websites. Like the lead generating websites, which were in 2014, 2015, nobody was doing. I was doing social media ads. Nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
When social media ads was 7 cents a click or whatever it was. Right? And this is all shit that I was doing. And I was being watched by the broker at the time because they were concerned that I was running. They always were like, is this guy in compliance? This guy in compliance? They were always worried about freaking compliance. What do you give a shit? You're cashing checks. You know what I mean? And then I got my broker's license exactly 2 years to the date of me being an agent. And at that time, I was at a crossroads. And I didn't know if I was going to open up a brokerage. Was I going to move out of that company? So I took a little time for myself and studied a lot of things. And I had gone to a conference in Atlanta that it was only top producing agents. I was invited to kind of be a fly on the wall, right? Somebody, it was a real estate coach, he did me a favor. These guys are doing hundreds of deals a year. So I was there to pick their brains. And some of them were actual brokers. And that's how I got introduced to the HomeSmart model. I would ask people, this is where I'm at in my career. This is my split. This is, the fees. What should I do? Well, first thing they said to me was, well, you got to get out where you're at. Problem is where am I going? Because everything here is the same. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This business is so incestual. You go from one company to a company. It's all the same shit.
It's all the same shit.
All the same shit.
All the same shit.
All the same shit.
It's either there's basically 3 models. There's a model like you have. There's your traditional kind of brokerage model, 60-40 split, admin fee, all that crap. And then there's what I like to refer to as the pyramid scheme model.
Yeah, we could talk about that too, but I can't call it a pyramid scheme.
I can call it a pyramid scheme.
You could call it a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
We all know real estate stocks don't make any money.
And if you bring on this agent, you get a piece of them forever until they fucking leave.
Again,
it's
we're
bullshit.
kind of all over the place, but it's like, if you're going to make 20 or 30% more money with me, wouldn't you rather take that 20 or 30% more money and invest it in a stock that's actually going to make money, like Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, instead of a freaking real estate stock that has not moved in years?
Yeah, but so this is where you and I, like, I'm with you on everything, and this is where you and I kind of part ways. To like go back to your thing before, it's like, hey, if you've never uploaded a listing, Doc, this isn't the place for you. You have to be the CEO of your own business, right? But in my opinion, most realtors, like, you're not a realtor. You're a businessman that just happened to be a realtor for a period of time.
Correct.
Most realtors are salespeople. And in my opinion, for a great salesperson, you need to remove all barriers for them, and all they do is sell, because that's really what they're good at.
But, and there's a big but, Charles, what is that costing them?
Well,
that's the problem. If they were paying a girl at the front desk $125 per file, I'd say, you know what, dude, get that out of my way.
It depends.
I'm paying $800 a listing for you to upload my stuff?
So,
come on.
There's 2 sides of that story, right? You're right, but then there's also another side that you're not looking at, I don't think. If you're the kind of person who can do 50 deals a year on your own, what is it costing you? That's real. If you're the kind of person that would do 15 deals without this assistance, but with the assistance you can do 40 or 50 deals, it's an investment. The problem is, let me finish. The problem is most brokers don't do shit for you to get you from that 15 to 50.
Correct. So another thing that I teach, the whole thing about being a CEO of you, I'm a big believer in never use your brokerage email address. Should be at, charles@weinraub.com. It should never be at joeblowbrokerage.com. Mm-hmm. You should never use the brokerage for sale sign. I don't care that you put your cell phone on a rider. They're calling the number on the sign. Where do you think that lead's going? For the most part, the girl answers the phone in the office. Whoever bought her a coffee in the morning might be getting that lead. Not you, not the agent. You're probably not even in the office, okay? And number 3, never use your brokerage supplied CRM. So if you're getting a free CRM from your brokerage that they're supplying, go get your own for $40 a month, because the brokerage owns your email address, they own your for sale sign, and now they own your CRM. So when you decide, because you're going to leave eventually, when you decide to leave, you've just branded yourself with their email address, their CRM, and their freaking for sale signs. Now you need to start all over with the branding. You need to brand for yourself. That's what I teach. Get yourself a domain name. Get, charles@charlestherealtor.com, right? That should be your domain name. Get a sign with your face on it and your cell phone number on it. As long as it has the brokerage logo, you're good. But this way, you're getting a lead. The phones in my offices don't ring. The only time they ring is when it's either a shit call, like a spam call, your Google address needs to be verified or whatever, or it's the agent that doesn't read the MLS instructions that says they want to show 123 Main Street next Sunday at 3 p.m. Get back to them. Mm-hmm. Doesn't even name the agent's name, so that winds up just getting hung up on anyway, right? Those are the only 2 calls we get at the office. Okay, so why are agents not allowed? And there's nothing. They're not allowed to use their own email addresses at a lot of brokerages. They're not allowed to upload their own MLSs. There are now brokerages, I can name 2 brokerages, which I can't name here, that don't even allow their agents to upload their own MLSs anymore because it keeps them there, right? And agents need to buy their own damn for sale signs. They're $25 a piece. I always said, and another thing I teach agents, what you should do is get a custom for sale sign for every house you list. Put 3 or 4 pictures on there. And then you put, for more information, call me at 555-1212. You put a couple of blips about the house on a for sale sign. And then at the closing, it becomes a gift to either the buyer or the seller. $25. But these are like little things that agents don't do. It drives me up the wall. If I was a regular agent, again, that's exactly how I would do my business.
Yeah, but you're not.
But this is what I at least teach them.
No, listen, everything you're saying is great, and I agree with 150%.
Let's talk about teams, right?
Teams are bullshit.
Well, I think if you're a new agent, you need at least an office mentor, or you need to be on a team. Here's the problem I have with teams. Okay, there are some phenomenal agents on there on teams that no longer need to be on a team. And again, I'm not going to mention names, but they do not need to be on a team anymore. They are so self-sufficient. They're now driving their own leads back to themselves. They're doing all the right things they need to do to generate their own business, yet they're still paying a broker split and a split back to the team leader.
Because, so the thing that that if you have to list the top 5 things that are important to realtors, that split is not even in the top 3.
At HomeSmart it is.
Yes, but for an industry, it is not.
Because they've been so brand beat from the time they walked into the door. Let's talk about real estate training, okay? I love this topic.
There is none.
You know what real estate training is? It's brand beating. You sit in a room for a week, and who you introduced to? Their title company. You're introduced to their mortgage lender. You're introduced to the way that company does business, the history of the company, yada, yada, yada. You're not taught anything about sales.
Nope.
It's all bullshit.
Because
whenever I do a training, like I would love to have you in to do a training on your fix and flips, right? How do you get your fix and flips or whatever? Because I know you do some stuff like that. I'd love to have you in. That's what I call real training. Not this bullshit about, let me show you how to fill out an agency disclosure. Because let me tell you, by the time you do a deal, you're not going to remember that anyway. I always tell my agents, especially if they're brand new,
That's not training.
Right. I tell my agents when they're brand new, how do I fill out a listing agreement? Don't worry about that. When you get the listing, we're going to go over it. We're going to sit together and we're going to go over it.
So real true salesmanship is essentially a lost art. It's dead.
Yeah. I think I'm a great salesperson, even with agents. Like I talk to agents every day, and I'll tell you right now if an agent's a fit for us or they're not. Agents don't leave us. And when they do, it's either to open up their own brokerage. Right? I've had a series of agents that have done that. I would never advise that. But you know what? God bless them. I wish them nothing more, but luck. A lot of agents think because they're struggling, it's their broker's problem when it's not.
No.
If I always say to agents, why do you want to come to HomeSmart? Well, my numbers are down. And why are your numbers down? Well, what are you going to do to change it? So if you came here, what's going to change? Yeah. Okay. When you close the deal, yes, you're going to get paid more. But what's going to change?
But there's the gap in the market, right? What you're doing is you're pinpointing the gap in the market.
Right.
The gap in the market is this. This is what I believe the gap in the market is and where the opportunity is. There's an agent sitting in this chair who really wants to work, but they don't know how to run a business.
So if I have an agent like that in my office, I'll be honest, and I can pick that up almost immediately, and I have a series of them. I will work so hard with those agents because I see that difference. You see what I mean? I can see where they really want to be, and they're willing to put the work in. Are you willing to buy those signs that I told you to buy? Are you willing to let me lead you all the way to the water, right? You're willing to do at least 50% of the things I say? Because I always say to my new agents, if you listen to just half of what I say, you'll be very successful. I don't even expect you to listen to 100% of it. Just listen to half. Listen to how I did things. What did I get the money for marketing when I first became an agent? Is one of the things I talk about with new agents all the time too. I had a credit card. You ever see you have a credit card at your house or whatever, one of those cards you just don't use, it's sitting in a closet somewhere. Mm-hmm. I had one of those cards. It happened, I called it up, it had a $10,000 limit on it. I said to my wife, I said, look, here's a card, it's got $10,000 on it. I'm going to invest $10,000 into this business. Whatever works, I'm going to double down on, and whatever doesn't, we're going to toss it. And what's the worst case that happens? I'm another $10,000 in a hole. Right? You got to invest in your business. So I did that. And that's where I got the money for Zillow and the websites. And that's what I did. Now, I'm not expecting every agent to do that, but this is the cheapest business you're ever going to start. If you wanted to buy a deli, you wanted to where else are you going to go that you can pay $1,000 for MLS and that's it?
Yeah.
And now you're in business for yourself. Invest in yourself. That's where I think agents have a problem. And they don't know where to invest. So whenever I have an agent that says to me they want to put money into marketing, I always say to them, before you drop a dime into marketing, Tell me where you're spending it, because more than likely I've tried it. You know, and and sometimes they listen to me and sometimes they don't, and they'll say to me, "Oh, I just bought this XYZ. What a waste of money that was for $500 a month." I said, "Because you didn't talk to me about it." You know, so, you know, I think that's why we do have a little bit of a different type of agent. You know, our agent is typically the agent that has 10 or less years in the business. They hustle. They don't care about espresso in the office. They don't care about the bidet in the bathroom.
No, they want to make freaking money.
They don't care about the beautiful LED lighting that hangs over the granite countertop. They don't give a shit about that. You know what they care about? Getting their check the same day as closing, because I pay the same day as closing.
How do you do that?
Well, it's a bank check or an escrow check. So I know they're not going to bounce. It's not like I have no money in my operating account.
No,
so the check's clear immediately.
So, I mean, no, just to get in the mechanics of operations for a moment, you're basically, you don't have admin.
No.
You don't have staff.
Nope.
So you're
I'll
out.
cut a check right now from my phone for you.
So you're out doing your thing. An agent goes to a closing, has a check in his or her hand. What happens?
They go to the bank. They deposit it.
They deposit it into your account.
My account.
Got it.
They deposit only on the back. They tell me how much the check was, the address. Like, you know, I just kind of make sure their paperwork is all in, because if their paperwork's not in, they don't get paid. Okay. So I got to make sure all their forms are uploaded, et cetera, et cetera. Assuming it is, I go online, I cut it in.
They're uploaded to like a platform that you guys have?
On my Real Smart Agent platform.
Got it.
And then I just cut an e-check right to their email box. They print it. They take it to the bank. They take a photo of it. They go to the machine, whatever they got to do.
And you do that from the phone?
I could do it from the phone. I'm typically always in front of a computer, but yeah, I could do it.
And the app essentially deducts the fees and all that?
Yeah, it calculates everything.
Yeah.
I double check it, right?
Yeah.
Because it goes by sale price and some stuff that they got to.
What are the forms that you guys require? Because
real simple.
So many agents are like,
oh my God.
Like they're agents who will call me and be like, I'm in the office doing the paperwork on the phone. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've been doing paperwork to get my check for the last 4 hours.
No,
like,
no.
What are you talking about?
So on the sales side, it's really simple, right?
Okay.
Lead paint.
Yeah.
Agency disclosure.
Okay.
Fair housing. That's it.
Boom, boom, boom.
I don't even care about a deal sheet.
Boom, boom, boom.
I don't care. That's the sales side. On the list side, we need the listing agreement,
Yeah.
the MLS PDS, agency disclosure, lead paint, fair housing, now the property disclosure affidavit. And I don't know if I missed one or two of them, but that's it. Sometimes you got brokerages that want smoke detector affidavits, for sale affidavits.
It's fucking crazy.
That's what I call fluff.
That shit's not keeping you safe.
No, I only require what's legal.
Yeah.
And I'm not here, and I always tell my agents, I'm not here to, put up a guard against your business, right? I'm not here to prevent you from doing business. I'm trying to make your job as easy as possible. It's funny, when a new agent comes from another brokerage and they ask me what paperwork I need and I tell them, they're like, what about this? What about that? And I go, why would I need that? Well, my last brokerage did. I don't require it here. State doesn't require it. MLS doesn't require it. I don't require it. Keeps everything really, really simple, and they appreciate that. And they love that they get their check the same day. Sometimes they're at the bank, and I have TD Bank. So if they have TD Bank, they'll say to me, they're like, hey, are you in front of a computer or phone? Because I'm at TD Bank now depositing your check. Can you send me mine at the same time? Absolutely.
You don't want any administrative help just to take some of this shit off
I
your
built this
plate?
thing, and I got it down to a science. Charles, I'm in here. My business is going, man. I'm sleeping. My business is going. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing.
The systems that we have in place, there is absolutely no need for staff. Now, if I got to 300 agents, I may need to add another admin but there's a point. Like, I know that when I get to a certain agent count, yeah, I'll probably need to add somebody. My next thing is probably 300 agents. And at that point, it might need, instead of a part-time admin, it might need to be a full-time admin, but.
What percentage do you think of the agents go into the offices, do you think?
In generally speaking?
Yeah.
I think it depends on the model. I noticed that some.
No, in HomeSmart.
Oh my God. How many come into the office? Geez, I have 180 agents. What is 6 divided by 180? I don't know. Whatever percentage that was, that 3%? 2.5%? 4%?
1% would be 1.8.
Yeah.
So it's basically 4%.
Yeah, about 4%.
So these places are
and
empty.
it's the same agents. And you know what?
Agents don't even come in to make copies and leave?
No.
They don't even come in.
No.
They just don't come in.
Because you can go buy a printer for $99. Why are you going to waste your gas to come to the office? You can print it out at home.
That's true.
And I don't charge for printing.
Valid.
Yeah, there were companies that charge 35 cents for printing.
Yeah, that's nuts. Valid.
What are you printing?
Very smart.
The only thing I say to them is like, look, hey, if it's not important, print it in black and white. That's the only thing I say. If If it's something important, you could print it in color, obviously, but black and white is generally free. It's as many as you need.
Huh.
Look, my agents got it good. They got it good. They'll tell you they got it good. They'll tell you they'll never leave me. They'll tell you that it was the best career decision they ever made. They can't. Biggest thing that I think I run into when I talk to an agent and I tell them what I would pay them, if I show them I like to show an agent like a sample check of what they would have made if they were here, and they usually don't even believe it. Then I have to get like other people on the phone to like vouch for me.
Yeah, because I think the common misconception is a lot of people think that most agents are on 90-10 splits, or they are capped at like 15K and all this shit. It's bullshit.
It's all bullshit. Most of your agents are probably on a 60-40, 70-30.
Plus admin fees.
Plus the admin, drive me fucking crazy. That's like $800 a deal. It blows my mind.
When I have conversations with agents and they tell me they're split, I'm like, it's not really a split.
No.
You have a 6% admin fee.
Some of them don't even remember that 6%. They're just so in their head that they just pay it. They don't remember it.
A lot of people, because I've had this conversation with a lot of agents, they don't understand how they get the net number, and they never question it.
They never question it.
They get the check. That's it. They don't look into it. And I bet you there's errors on 75% of the checks.
Let me tell you something. My agents, if I make a penny mistake, I got a phone call. Because I've done it. Sometimes in my head, like if it's an odd check number, maybe I make a miscalculation.
But it's just a flat fee. It's $800, right?
Yeah, but sometimes if the check was $10,375.63, and I got to take out like the $800 or whatever it is, and sometimes I might make a dollar error. I know about it.
I can't believe you don't have an admin helping you do this shit.
No way.
Even if you have to cut 50 checks a month.
Management. It's all time management, man.
But they got to be calling you 24/7 for this shit.
They don't call. It's all text message. My phone is not rang here. I've got about 5-6 text messages.
Okay, so they text you, and then they understand
say,
like
I had a closing, 123 Main Street. Here's a copy of the check.
So
I go on my phone.
Do you have a designated time period where you're like, all right, from 5 to 5:30 every day, I'm cutting checks to people?
No, well, let's figure this out, right? So what time are typically closings in the morning? Anywhere between 11 and 3.
All right.
Right? So by the time they actually get to the bank, what is it, 3 o'clock? So maybe between 3 and 4, I'm cutting checks.
Every day.
Generally, right? I mean, if you think about the time, I mean, sometimes early, sometimes a little bit later, but generally, right, when the thing's ending, by the time they get to the bank, I have agents, which drive me crazy. They won't deposit the check for like weeks. I'm like, dude, this thing closed. It's like, yeah, I know, I'm going to get to the bank. I'm like, don't you want the money now? I don't care, because it's their money anyway.
Agents never, so they have to go and deposit it. They never come in.
No, I have one agent that actually, because he's there every day, he drops the check off on my desk, and I'll take it to the bank on the way home.
Got it.
Because on the way home is the bank. He just won't do it. For whatever reason. He's like, hey, you guys a check. I'm like, whatever. But he's been there for me from the start. I'm not going to break his chops.
No, I get that. You go to the bank anyway.
I'm going to the bank. I got to go to the bank anyway. You know, so I'll do it then. Or if it's, I could do it on my phone half the time, just take a picture of it and deposit. Not a big deal. But yeah, it's kind of the way I do business. I'm a big believer in our model. I think we're the best kept secret in real estate. I really do. A lot of people have no idea what we have to offer. As much as I like to say it over and over again, what we have to offer our agents, it's still like the best kept secret. All of our agents come from other agents. I don't call up agents and say, hey, John, you want to come join HomeSmart? I don't do that. I get hey, I just did a closing with John from XYZ Brokerage. I told him when I was getting paid. He wants to have a conversation with you. Great. I had 2 conversations with agents yesterday.
It's all word of mouth.
It's all word of mouth. And that's why I like it, because it becomes more like a family. And generally speaking, like I said, all of our agents are the same type of agent. They have that 10 or less years of experience in the business. Now, they might be 50, they might be 60 with 10 years or less, they might be 30 with 10 years or less, but
why are they 10 years? Why are they 10 years or less?
They have more because the way the business is done over the last 10 years is very different than it was done the previous 10 years.
You have to have a certain level of tech savviness.
You have to have and you know what, if you don't have it, we might not be the best fit for you, but it's basic stuff. If you know how to do email, text messaging, and get on a website.
What percentage of agents call you with interest that you actually take versus how many you turn down?
I probably, obviously I take more than I don't, as long as they pass a couple of, questions that I asked them about, where they are in their business. A lot of times it's just simple. Hey, I've been at this brokerage, I was promised, my favorite is, I just moved to XYZ Brokerage from XYZ Brokerage, and they promised me X, Y, and Z. I got my first check, and it was only X. I said, yeah, that kind of sucks. I said, if you would have had that conversation with me prior to moving, I could have told you that's what it was going to be.
They do that shit?
Oh, my God. Because they don't mention certain things. They don't mention E&O insurance. They don't mention the admin fees. They tell you your fee is going to be 70-30. They don't tell you about the marketing fee. So in the long run, I think I did a statistic that agents that do leave us, 75% of them wind up coming back.
That's interesting.
The 25% that don't are because they left with their tail between their legs.
And they're just embarrassed to come back?
They're embarrassed to come back. And I always say when they're looking to leave, I always ask where they're going. And I always say, okay, if you're going there, be careful of this, 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 and this.
Mm-hmm.
They'll call me 3 months later and they say, you were fucking right. I'd love to come back. Now, what I would say to them is, listen, you were with me 3 years ago. My fee was only X 3 years ago. Now my fee is Y. Because, I have raised my fees over the last 10 years.
Okay.
Now, I don't raise them on agents that have been with me. I only raise them on agents that come in.
So your grandfather did?
They're all grandfather, which is another thing they appreciate. But I do tell them, when you come back, you're going to pay whatever the fee is at the time. And they're like, yeah, no problem. They get it. I've had agents try to renegotiate. I'm like, dude, that fee is gone. Long gone. Because when I opened up almost 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, whenever it was.
What was it, $300?
$500.
$500, yeah.
$500. And that was just to get people in the door. And I had a tough time getting people in the door.
Are you thinking about closing down offices because it just doesn't make sense?
Yes. But I'm getting pushback.
From the agents?
Yep.
Who don't go into the office?
The ones that do go into the office. I'm getting pushback.
How many go into the office?
Look, I told you like 5 or 6 daily.
Then what the fuck?
That's what I said. But because I have one of my leases expiring, and I would never get rid of the office. I don't, Charles, what do you got here? You got 500, 350, 400 square feet here? What do you got here?
In this room?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Right. You know what I need? I need from that wall to this. All I need. And I could just fucking put 12 desks in there. 12 fucking IKEA desks in there.
Yeah.
That's all I need. And a TV on the wall.
Yeah, but I mean, it still costs you money.
It'll cost me a third of what I'm paying now.
Oh, okay. So you're going to scale down.
I'd like to, but I don't want to disappoint my agents either. So it's kind of like this catch-22.
But then you have to ask yourself, like, those agents that come in, how much business do they actually do?
They do. The ones that are coming in are probably doing a decent amount of business.
It's like, how many of them are actually going to leave as a result of that? And then
probably none.
And then what is that really costing you?
But I don't want to lose the camaraderie that we have in that office either. I don't want to lose that culture. So it is a catch-22. So what I've told them is, I'd like to move the office. I'd like to downsize it, but with their input. So if I go look at a space,
that's smart.
I take them with me. And I say, could you guys work out of a place like this?
That's cool.
And that's how I do business. But because they help me build it.
That's smart.
And they appreciate shit like that.
Do you have one like main corporate office?
Williston Park.
Okay.
Yeah. My Melville office is probably going to be eventually the actual... My Melville office is actually going to be the corporate office because it's our largest. It's right on Broad Hollow Road.
Do agents ever bring in clients or no?
Yeah.
They bring clients often?
Yeah. So I have conference room set up.
Okay.
Look, it's rare.
Yeah.
But they'll say it because they forget. What's the code for the door? I have a client coming in. I get that call all the time. I'm like, oh, here's the code. Sometimes I don't remember it. Because it's just, when you just do it yourself, you're like, shit, what is that code? And you got to do it in your head.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, that was great, man. Dude, this was awesome. I appreciate a lot of really good points. I'm glad that we finally got to meet.
Yeah.
I think obviously agents need to know, so let them know right there on that camera. If anybody is interested in getting 100% commission.
If you want 100% commission without all the bullshit fees you're probably paying right now, give me a call, 917-716-9265. I promise you all conversations will be confidential.
Handsome home buyer, you got a house. I don't even care if it smells like cat pee anymore. I want to buy it.
There you go. I'd love to sell you a house.
777 sold. Wrap.